Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. And the first thing what I want to say today is I wish you all the best from the bottom of my heart for a beautiful, wonderful year 2025. And for today, I have a card reading for you. It is a little bit to have a look into that year, what is happening, and where we are going. So you can see that what we have here is the recall memory, the first card. You can also look at the cards that is the past. The center one is the what we have to do now, and then the next one is the near future. And we have again, sometimes it's really boring. It's always the same coming up again and again. But that's what is happening. Now, the recall memory, we have to look at what happened. We cannot escape that. And the reason why is that, look, we have been part of the whole. We are a microcosmos within the macrocosmos. And even if we have not participated in some really nasty stuff, what was going on in the last year, is still we're here. And this is still part of the energies. And we are like, the balance. Like we hold the balance in the other direction, but that also shows us that we need to know what is going on, that we even can do that. It is kind of difficult what is coming up now. And this is really all about what you see in the second card again, as above, so below, the balance. Also the balance between, we can say above is the light, below is the darkness. Whatever words you want to use here, the important thing is the center. The center is the heart. At the bottom, we have the volcano. And this is what is happening. So we have to go back. All the history, his story that they feed us is wrong. There is a whole century missing if we have a closer look. And all the dates are wrong. The beginning of the year is wrong. And we can have here two opinions. We can go, from my opinion, it is like the solar year starts on 25th of December, the moment when the sun is moving forward again, at least for the northern hemisphere. This is true. The southern hemisphere should have a different story there too. But we have to agree on something. So it is like the 21st, 22nd is the solstice. This is when seemingly the sun is standing still and moving back on the 25th, which is also, when you look in more mythology and stories, was always the birth of the sun. And there were many different suns, and you can have the U, replace with all the O's. And then we have always the same story. And this is the beginning of the solar year, but you also can go from equinox to equinox at the spring equinox. That's another absolutely true story that we can use too. So both is okay and both is working. So depending what you prefer, what you like, it doesn't really matter. But this is the rhythm, the natural rhythm of things, and not some kind of arbitrary dates that totally don't make any sense. So also, we have to go back into our nature. See, even those beautiful shells here, they show that is part of nature. And you might remember that I also said that several times, also in other readings, that the bone, the structure, the bone of the human represents the memory. And in that way, the shell is the same. And if you ever hold the shell towards your ear, you can hear the blood rush in your body. That you can also do that with the hand, that works the same. But I was very fascinated because I absolutely loved the sea, and I grew up in Switzerland. We didn't have any sea. So once we went to Italy, when I was maybe, I don't remember, I was very young. And I was so very fascinated at that time because at that time you can still find some shells, not like today. So this was beautiful, and I was sitting hours and hours on that beach playing with other kids and had that shell and always put it back on my ear and listen. And I heard so many stories in there, you know, kind of already as a child. They said you have too much fantasy. So then I still have that today. And this is the beauty of life when you can add on a lot of fantasy, when you see much more than just the structure of something, but you can fill it in with colors and with story. So please be creative. And the creativity is also one aspect of the middle card here, as above, so below. Because here, once we are centered within our heart, we can start to create. And this is the white and the yellow in the center here. Now, when we are focused, like we can say here, just on the brain, then we are completely inside of duality, inside of yin and yang, inside also when we go totally into this pole, there is good and bad. And when we move into the heart, which would be here, just again, you know, I'm talking about symbols. The heart has brain cells. And once we combine both together, we come to that, what we call the manifestation of creativity, because generally the true creativity is coming through the heart and not through the mind, or even further down, we can say through the gut feeling. So what is happening now through all the explosions and implosions that are happening in the moment of the world, we have kind of to regress into ourselves, not to look outside too much, but to situations will force people to become creative again. Let's put it in that word. Like maybe things are being taken away. And I also said in my last reading, I remember I was reminded by somebody that I said, shocking events will happen. And I tell you, I had my part of shocking events already in these first days. So this is what is happening when shocking events are happening. We need to find a way to move on. We cannot give up. We have to move on. And this is kind of the picture that shows how to do it. We can reconnect with our heart. We can sit a moment, meditate for a moment, go into the center, tune into the higher self or the divine self or whatever you want to call it. And some people might sit and meditate. Some people, they go in nature. Some people, they do other things. They paint, they do something to have connection to their creativity. Everybody is different. And again, you know, meditation does not just need that you have to sit somewhere and be still, but it can also, it can, for me at least, it happened very often. I used to go walking in the forest all the time or here on the land. And this is the moment when things are coming in. Even when I swim sometimes, it's too cold right now, but I will swim soon again. So when I was swimming, I had sometimes so many ideas and things coming in that I thought I have to quickly go to the little stair that I have here, get out and write it all down. And this is once you are centered, you're just in the moment. And this is what the recall memory asks you to come into that moment so you can focus on the past, on the future. Memories will be able to come up. Memory mean also remember is like remember again, bring that all back to see, and then you can You can look at it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Is it part of you or not? And I guess many have similar experiences that when you look back at yourself, like 10, 20, 30, whatever years ago, you're not the same person anymore. And that's right. It has to be that way because on our journey moving forward, we change, we shift consciousness, we evolve. So see, once you are doing this and you are connected above and below, when you're balanced in between, in the heart, between the below and the above, then your intuition, then your creativity can completely take over, and you're not dependent anymore just on the mind and what is the feed from the outside world. And this is the asylum. This is where you find peace. You see, actually, it's difficult to see, but it's actually a unicorn here. And this unicorn sits in the position of the tree where the heart is. Also, we have the same symbol again. The moment on the stem where the branches move on, go off, this is from the, yeah, I don't know how to say that. It's very difficult because the tree in that way is heart already. It doesn't have a heart like human beings. But this is the position of the balance of in between again, and it refers again to the middle chord. And once we have it, and it's a brown horse, a brown unicorn. Like, it looks like a horse, I know, but here you see it's a unicorn. So that is a fantasy animal. So that means that if we go into another dimension, this would be an animal from another dimension. And you know what? I just received some images of skeletons, and we had a discussion about dragons. Our dragons have not been real. I really believe they have been real because what they sell us today as dinosaurs, many of them have been dragons. Because how come that suddenly so many stories and myths and legends about dragons are everywhere? And more, if you go into the check out the realm of fantasy books, there is dragon all over. So do you really think that is just crazy fantasy? No, I believe that they have existed, and like everything else in the world, they were the positive and the negative, those beasts who have been protectors, and others too. Depending, it's like for example, if you have a dog, like there are people who treat their dog very bad, and they are it themselves very aggressive, and the dog represents that too. But another person who is very loving and very kind with the dogs are usually kind too. So this is the same with everything on the planet. So when we move a little bit beyond again what has been told and what is our the story that we are supposed to believe, throw this away because it's not working that way. We are far beyond that, and that's where we are going again. So the asylum is that once you find the heart within yourself, once you find the peace within yourself, you find that asylum. And it reminds me also a little bit of the centaur. You know, Chiron, the healer in astrology. This is the centaur with the human upper body and the horse lower body, which was the son of a god, and he could not die because of that. So this is in a way what we are. We cannot die. We could just lose our body, but as me, as what I am, the essence of me will never die. And this is a similar story. And I think this is of why it's a unicorn. That is the fantasy part, because most humans are not really ready to believe that they are immortal. But we are the essence of what I am is immortal. If I have a body or not, it doesn't matter. So once I find that peace and in a way come into that realm where everything is possible, I can make it possible. I can make it, I can create it, and I can manifest it. And this is what the cards want to encourage you for this year. It will be wild. It will be a very fast ride too. Things will go very fast. But we always have to bring the above and below together in our heart space, in the center of our being, and then we can find the peace. It doesn't matter if you are where you are in the world. I mean, if you are in a very big turmoil or not, the most important thing is that you find that peace. You know, there are many stories that somebody walked through a minefield and he walked through the minefield, the master, and nothing happened. And 5 minutes later, somebody else run after him and he blow up. And this is because if you are aligned with your inner center, completely at peace with all that is, nothing really can happen to you. And this is what the unicorn also shows. Once you are in the center of yourself, you are rooted like the tree, and the branches and the leaves are going up into the sky beyond all that what can touch you, what can happen to you. So when we go through that year, whatever shakes the earth, whatever is happening, cannot get us out of our inner peace, of that true connectedness to the divine. And I think this, when I saw those cards, this is such a beautiful message, especially in the light of what is happening in the world in the moment. But this is, again, this is just the outer facade. This is the stage where everything is happening. You don't be on the stage. Don't run around with them. Look at things that happen. And especially those things that come very close to you, that are, say, for example, you're personally involved or your loved ones are involved. Don't look away, look at it, but see the peace within it. What I can also see in the moment, what is happening actually is that, you know, that balancing of karma, the balancing of the yin and the yang has to be, because how can you go into a higher timeline if you still have a lot of luggage from a lower timeline that hold you back? This is not possible. I remember very well some years ago, I had a dream again and again and again, that I ran to the train station and I could not reach it because I had a very heavy suitcase. The moment I let the suitcase fall and I got on that train. And I later found out also what exactly it was, what I had to let go, so that I could move on in my life with my true purpose and not be held back with artificial stuff that is not even my business. And you can see that a lot of light workers are still on what I call a helper trip. The first, what you have to do is now look for yourself. You have to redeem yourself first and then be the light. Be the light like a lighthouse, or you can even compare the sun. The sun is not coming down here to give you special light. The sun is just shining. And that's what we have to be, because everybody has a free will. It is so difficult, those on the helper trip who want to rescue others. Don't jump into the muddy water and drown. I had actually a case that somebody wanted to save somebody, and actually the savior finally died and the other one survived because of the situation. So don't put yourself at risk. It does not help anybody. It does not help you. It does not help anybody else. If somebody asks questions, answer them, but don't go and try to be the missionary. This time is far over. now what we have to do is stay with ourselves, be calm within ourselves so that we can be the light, the wisdom for others if they ask questions, so we do have the right answers. I hope this gives you a little bit an idea about what to focus on in this year 2025. This is also the heart is the key to everything in the moment. I wish you a wonderful time and I hope to see you again soon. I will have a moon reading soon. Bye bye for now.